Hey guys, I'm gonna start some music. Looks like the DMV is on to me. On to me, I tell you, on to me. Because they're specifically saying, okay, you have to put the actual start and end times on there now. So this timesheet thing is like the most obnoxious thing. And you can actually sign this if you give me control pen. Woo. All right. Sorry, guys. I got a bunch of SOP stuff I've got to do. All right. You're on to me. You're on to me. Anyway, I feel like we've got kind of a problem going on here with this. The DMV is becoming a stickler about minutes. And they just made us sign a piece of paper that says we solemnly swear to check our phones and have the kids put down the exact minute that the class starts and the exact minute that it ends. And then they have to take a 30-hour class. And I'm not kidding. They will fail them and not give them their driver's license if they have 29 hours and 99.999% of an hour. So if it's 29.999 hours, they will fail them and not let them have their license. So now I have to do the thing of, you guys really want to leave at 4:35, but I'm very sorry. It's 4:34 and 30 seconds, so just stare at each other. And I hate that. It's like, I hate this so much. But that's what has to happen. And so... all right. That wasn't the button I wanted to push. Well, fine, you moving person, you. Oh, good. It's all good, bro. I saw the picture. Is that where you're moving to? The picture you just posted, or that your friend posted? That looked cool. So. Oh, for crying out loud. Hello, wake up. Oh, we have crashed. We have crashed. That's nice. I accidentally hit connect via link, and that has crashed Outlook because it's like, oh God, I can't find links. And so now it is crashed. There we go. Hang on. You need this printed. Okay. Sent off to do. Thanks. And, well, that's cool. So, are you trading roommates though? Like you had roommates and now you're trading for different roommates? Just wondering. Oh, right. Drawing wonder. Oh. Oh, righty. New house, new roommates. Gotcha. Cool. You're weird. Hey, don't give me the ears back look, you ass. Well, that's good to hear. I mean, if nothing else, it's good to know that you're moving into a new house with new roommates and stuff like that. All sounds good to me. I feel like I need to quickly fix one of these earlier pages because it looks not as dark as it needs to be. Yeah, see, this looks actually quite the contrary. It looks like the lines are darker. Yeah, the lines are too dark. So I'm going to have to fix the lines on this. Which means figuring out how to fix the lines on this. I wonder if I can easily do that. Stalker Colton. Studio space is important. I'm in my studio space right now. So I absolutely approve of studio space. Stalker Colton. Nothing like a fun situation, you know. It's all good. Let's see if I've got control of this over here. Yeah, I do. Huh. It works. Ish. All right. Oh, there we go. Okay. I'm just fixing without you guys actually seeing what I'm doing. Yeah, I gotta admit, sleep is pretty hard to catch. Ugh. Eight looks good. Fixing the line work. All right. 12 hours of it. Who sleeps for 12 hours, weirdo? Okay. Alrighty. See you later, my friend. This guy needs some help. A lot of help. So I'm going to reorganize, first of all of the frames are out of place. So they're not in order. None of them are in order. They're all screwed up. Okay, well, that's always nice. There's so many weird things. Like, if you click on the show ruler or rulers button, it will automatically enable the ruler. But if you click on it again, nothing happens. You must right mouse click it and select disable ruler. Enable for the ruler for the ruler to go away. I find that weird. All right. So one of the rules that generally I follow badly, but I'm going to try to follow better now, is the rule of putting the text bubble in the actual frame. I'm really bad about it. So we're going to try to fix that. I am doing some small fixes here. So I don't mind if the control points are outside the I'm trying to get a whole bunch of these things kind of squared away here. Quite literally trying to get things squared away. I know this is not exactly the most exciting thing. But I do want to try to make this somewhat more conforming like it's supposed to be. So we're changing that quite a bit. I also don't think that our text is the right size. And I've decided that text will be 6 point, and that's fine. But of course, this page is not conforming at all. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. You are definitely the cat. Anyone here is a cat, it is you. All right. Now we'll move to these guys. This one does need to be brought down to 6. What I'm doing now is just cleaning up the text bubbles in here, because none of them were clean at all. Oh, mess. Couldn't think of it. That's right. We got this under control, man. We got this under control. That's what I want to do. Yeah, I feel like you're bored. There we go. Whew. That took a minute or two. I got 1,000 control points here. So Clip Studio allows you to put in quite a few control points and things. And what I'm doing here is just trying to get control of this, because the control points are great, but they are pretty much super restricting me on this, because and probably the one thing that is frustrating about the idea of the vector shaped setups for Clip. I mean, like, everything's got that, right? I mean, every program has something that's irritating, and this is Clip's irritating. And that is that when you make a thing, Clip Studio adds 60 control points. So you move one, and it just makes a spike, and then you have to move all the other ones and get them all lined up, and then they make a little bubbly spike, and then you have to clear that up. And it's just a pain in the butt. What Clip Studio does is super too much. You know? And it's fine. It's okay. Got it under control. It's not an issue. Just enough that it's aggravating. And it's adding these there we go. So rebuilding this without using the stopping control points is really difficult. And it's got a control point that's pinched, which has a hinge, and then it has control points that have an ease through it. And it defaults to putting hinges in, which means that rather when you expand the balloon out, the balloon doesn't expand evenly. It puts a spike, and it just takes the balloon and does this. And you're like, well, okay, but... And I'm sure that there's a button somewhere, because I cannot possibly be the first person to have had this problem. But still. All right, that took a lot of effort, and we are now here. And Yeah, it's switch corner. Oh, that's what it is. It's switch corner. There is a switch for it. Just would never have guessed it. That works. And fixed. Oh, yeah. And I'm not terribly worried. I'm just in a gripey mood this morning. It's been snowy. The wife's car has a flat, that kind of stuff. So she took my car, and it's a snow day, and she took my car. And that always kind of makes me go, oh, because she's not as comfortable in my car as she is in hers. And frankly, her electric is much, much better at snow and ice than mine is. And so I'm always feeling like, just worried about her. That's all. I mean, not like horribly worried. She's a good driver and she does fine. But it's still part of the drawback of being into any field is that I am cognizant and aware of the dangers of driving. I mean, it's normal. I get it. And so, irrespective of her skill level, I'm cognizant and aware of what dangers lie out there on the road. So it's not a question of her skill or ability. So it's one of those things that always makes me kind of call this one Mosaic. Yeah, and I mean it's okay. It's okay. Okay. I'm going to take a look at all these pages because this one also kind of needs to be. I've got all the colors on this one, but not this one. This one needs help too, so we'll go in and fix this one too. Oh, this one has automatic modesty. All right. So it snowed in Topeka. Always a plus. Or maybe not a plus, but we only have these last like 3 pages that need to really kind of be backgroundy. So what I want to also make sure I do here is indicate that it's light on one side and dark on the other. So make sure we have all of our censorship bars on before we start futzing with these things. Now I think we've got all of these going. Censorship bars are on for every page, page 4, which doesn't need it. All the censorship bars are on, so I can now turn the camera back on to this and you can see what I'm working on. All right. So moving right through here, we're going to do everything dark when it's on her. Sounds like we're messing with something over here. Man, I am all about free the nipple. I'm also very cognizant and aware that my YouTube thing got called for whatever. So, but don't get me wrong. Absolutely agree. Would love to do so. I also feel like we need to check, make sure. Good, good, good. Check the vector line. That was too thick. There we go. Then I can take full points here and actually kind of like the idea of bending these guys a little bit. Gives it a little bit of, feel, but something here is going on. There we go. And I guess I'll just go in at some point and, you know what, I'll just put it on top of this and we'll just do some quick down and dirty white. Because then that'll, it's still done, but I think now I have a better technique of dealing with it, but I'm not going to redo it. It's easier to do that there. So we'll go into this panel. Yeah, so these are where things are like, wait a minute, where are you? All right, No. Move this here. And let's go on ahead and go to view and say adjust line width. So this adjust line width, what I'm noticing is that when I first did this, remember this was a test comic, so we're gonna have to do the Challenger thing with it. Challenger, the orbiter, not the ship, the spaceship, the space shuttle, Challenger, was built off of a test article that had been built, which is one of the reasons why it has the number OV99, because it technically was built before Columbia was. And so they took that test bed and they rebuilt it to be a full-fledged orbiter. But because it was built before all of the other orbiters, it had some weirder and stranger quirks that had to be kind of dealt with a little bit. Nothing bad, just after they made Challenger, they decided not to do these 12 things or whatever, and then they made Columbia, and then they made all of the other orbiters that came after Columbia. And then when they brought Challenger back online, they realized that these 12 things just weren't done. Labeling that was out of order or things like that. So we're pretty much doing the same critter here. Line width on these guys is a little different because I've decided to do that, do it differently. So we're just going to have to go through and just kind of adjust things. And it's not a problem. It's just something we got to do. Because we kind of changed out what we're doing here. And that's all. So it's not a big deal. That's what I mean by 60 of these things. Simplify them. We do not need to be that complicated. So we'll go through here and do this guy. Do the same thing. Does kind of give it a little bit of a cool thing, a little bit of like the lines have a little bit of, I could probably do something where it has just a little bit of weight in the bottom or something. That'd be kind of cool. Close up though, these two scenes are pretty funny. Like when you look up close, they're like, you could actually see the looking down at the coffee, looking at her, arms crossed, kind of like the, okay, I'm not mad, That looks better. Okay, now we can try to fix the color palettes on these. Like this is now I feel like this is a perfect time to bring in kind of a chattery crosshatching. So it's because they're mad at each other now. Actually, Chang is just being a dick. So, and Chang kind of knows it, sort of thing. So, let's see if this works. So the goal behind this is that we want to show that no matter what, the light in the room is coming from Jen, both figuratively and literally. So let's see if I've got a different one that I like better. Or not better. Let's see if I've got a different one that works so that there's a different gradient there. Right, because right now it's... Because if you can show that there's two different gradients, it does give a different feel. Right? I'll look through some of my gradients and see if I can find a gradient that's similar, but maybe more annoyed, more chattered, more something more. I know I need more. Got nothing beyond that, man. Got nothing beyond that. Kind of want to show that they're grumpy. The background can be a character in and of itself. So using the background is actually kind of a thing that's, we use it as part of the discussion, part of the talk, what's going on here. So in this instance, I'm looking through to find a background that, fits. Like, for example, if I were to put this background in here, it looks like somebody died. So I can't actually use that background at all because nobody's died. But what I can do is this. I can take and go for a normal halftone up at the top, halftone gradient, like this gradient right here, right? This is just a normal standard youth halftone. And then we'll put that in right here. And it'll be on top of what's already here. Right? So we're going to do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate it 180 degrees. I'm going to expand it so that it goes out here. And then we're going to put it in multiply mode. I'm going to take this guy then. I'm going to move him down one panel to here. Right, and then once I put him here, we will see an error in our ways. So what this will do for us make it so that I have to fix this part of it. What this does is this shows nice and even. I've got a problem. I'm going to get rid of these guys. I've got a problem here, and then down here it's static, like it's gotten uncomfortable, right? So we're going to fix this first. This needs to go away. I'll come back in with a white pen down here. Go up here just a little, fix this guy. Probably much harsher than she meant to be. So there we go. So that's where this is a great example of how using the background to make to become a character of its own works, right? So going in here real quick, we're gonna put this back. But yeah, so we let it be orderly because in this frame, the person who has control of this discussion is Jen, right? So in this instance, every time I use Jen, I try to use an orderly form of some sort, something with order. Every time I use Chang, every time Chang has control of the frame, I use chaotic and messy because Chang is sort of chaotic and messy. Everything she does is pretty chaotic, right? I mean, she's totally chaotic just in general on this page, general page. So that's how we're going to deal with that. And I think this page then is complete. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, good, 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 good. All things checked. This page is out the door. All right. We don't need to fix this page. Fix that page. We do have censorship up on this page. Okay. These are all final checks. I'm just going through and making sure everything fits. Okay, looking through here. Right, I know already that down here in this one right here, we've got the ability to put in. I like these sound lines. These are useful. They're great for just feeling lousy, right? She feels lousy. And right? Just looks so... just the way I feel a lot of times in the morning. Frankly, kind of feeling that right now. So I'm going to put that in. Put this down. Here. And make sure it's on top of this layer right there. Right. And I'm going to just drop it. Where it is, I don't know, 75%. Right. Still enough that you can see it just be like it's really pushing down on this scene, and making for just a general mess. So we're going to do that. Underneath this, I'm going to put another layer in because we've got to remember that anytime we're looking at her, it's got to be darker. So we're going to do this. Okay. On top of this, looks like the line work needs to be duplicated. And then we need to pull up a color palette for officer. And do that. And that. Her hair's already done, and everything's already done there, so really that's all we need to do on that one. And this guy maybe I can actually make a little bit so that the dark uniform still looks pretty cool. Yeah, pretty cool there. No, that whole sequence is, hey, Brent, where's your top secret team going off to? And then the response is, you don't have clearance for that. But she doesn't want to say it. It's rude. And really, that's what the whole thing is. She doesn't have clearance. Because even though she's a captain, she doesn't have clearance. So it's not a matter of where it's hidden. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it'll be, maybe I will use it later on as a story point. Maybe I won't. Maybe it'll just be another thing. Maybe there's nothing connected to it at all. But I mean, legitimately, you and I are in the service. Both of our ships are sometimes deployed to need to know sort of places. I come up to you and we're drinking beer and I'm like, hey buddy, where are you off to next? You're really off to some war zone, right? Or something. Or even if you're not, it's need to know. So even then you're like, come on, dude. I can't tell you, and you know that, So it's kind of a faux pas. It's showing that she's not quite, she's not, it's kind of like Chang's just not doing all the things. She's not doing good this morning. You know what I mean? It's kind of like she's asking stupid questions. She's doing stupid things. That's sort of where we are at here. If you don't need to know, you won't know. But also, kind of don't ask, Like, don't be a jerk. Don't ask. Okay, well, where's the ink on this? Because is it all ink? All the time. All ink. All the time. Well, then we're going to have to do this. Because I actually want to put something on there. All right, because I definitely want to put some chatter. Go to work. Go to work. See you in a sec. How are we getting that? So it's bad. Yeah. I messed up some stuff here. I don't know how to fix this. Why did I fix this? Even though we don't have my dear friend Brent here at the moment because he's working, I will continue on. There is a scene where there's a scene in a movie that's one of my favorite movies, and I have weird favorite movies, and it's a given. One of my favorite movies of all times is The Final Countdown, which is a Kirk Douglas movie. Kirk Douglas, Martin Sheen, 1980, and the whole plot of the story is the USS Nimitz gets stuck in a time vortex and ends up on December 6th, 1941 from 1980. And the whole thought is, what do? You know, here's a US Navy aircraft carrier with modern warplanes, jets no less, sitting on the deck the day before Pearl Harbor. Do you stop Pearl Harbor? Do you not stop Pearl Harbor? What do? You know? And that's the crux of the film. There's this scene though where the main the CAG says, "Hey, I'm gonna go do this, you know, this thing, and you know, whatever." And Martin Sheen's like, "I'm going with you," and he turns and says, and just smiles. It was like, "You're really not," you know. And it's like, oh, and it's a great scene, and I like that a lot. And I feel like that's what we've got going on right here. Is that same thing? It's like, you can't ask that. You know? But it's okay because I respect you, and it's not horrible, and you're not a terrible person for asking. It's just, you're gonna ask that, you know it. You know. So. I'm going to use that cross-hatching again this time. I'm going to take it, though, and put it in a non-inverted mode because I inverted it a minute ago, and that's fine. But this time, we're not going to. Paste. All right. Put them in non-inverted. And we've got the same thing. Her eyes are weirdly, and it's doing the thing. That's okay. All right. And now I'm still talking about that same thing, right? So we've got the same wide angle. This wide angle is the same as the previous page's wide angle, where we had the chaotic and then the straight. And the question really is, who's in control of this scene? And I really kind of feel like we're wrestling control back to Jen. Jen has control of the conversation again. She's glaring still, but I feel like we're getting better. We're settling in. So in this instance, we'll look at something in between here. Let's see if I've got something kind of in between our chaotic pattern and this. One of the things we might do is build a new one. Right? So this frame here lies underneath everything. So what I can do is build a new layer, And in this layer, take and just do a gradient across here like so. And say multiply. Right, and we'll take this gradient and we'll put it behind. I guess you can't put it behind too much because that's going to be unpleasant. Guess who's screwed this one up pretty good? But I can take, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to take the brush, or I'm going to take the blend tool. I'm just going to wiggle it back and forth here on this. I'm actually going to probably take a smaller brush for this. And go back and forth like this. And back and forth. Oh, like this. Back and forth. Like so. And what this is giving me is some rays. Oh, right. I'm going to go find you and then kill you because you didn't do it right. So, per the first one, now whenever I hit the halftoning is in there. Right? Now the halftoning exists right in here. And now we've got kind of a battle between the two. But the thing I'm going to definitely have to do here is erase in here for my main character because I was dumb enough to flatten this image. Should not have done that. Wasn't a wise move on my part. But this happened a while back. And I don't know, maybe I was trying to conserve space. I don't know. Whatever's the story, I made a mistake on this one. That's fine. It's not that hard to repair. It's just going to take a second or two here. Mistakes happen all the time. And it's not that hard to fix. It really isn't. I'm not that worried. There we go. And I think I flattened it because of her coffee cup. So looking at this now, I'm kind of like, I think that was the deal. I wanted to make sure that her coffee cup was flattened in so that I would understand where it was in the grand scheme of things. But of course, that has made for collision with... Dang it! Collision with the... background problems now. Not that big of a deal, but Again, mistakes happen. That's important. Just keep rolling. Here we go. Clean this all up. Thank you. All right. Making sure that I've gotten everything over here, because the chair, of course, isn't going to be involved either. Let's make sure we've cleared up all of this. Actually, can probably halo a little around her. Maybe not. I was like, we could put a hate now. I hate that. Makes it a hate low. It's like J-Lo, except with hate. All right. All right. So now we've done this. You see how I've got kind of going back and forth now, so that whenever we flick it over to this, ooh, we've missed some spots, haven't we? Get her here. Everything else is at 85 LPI. And so we'll probably put that at 85 LPI as well. So 85 LPI gives us a dot pitch that I like, and it looks pretty similar to the dot pitch we had before. If you take and drop the opacity, it just drops the dot pitch, which I think is kind of cool and interesting. But really what you do is you make sure it's in multiply before you drop the dot pitch. There we go. All right. That took some work, but I like this better because it's got this kind of flash going between it. Now the hard part's going to be fixing the fact that underneath this is a layer that we're going to have to do a duplicate on this one just to get it to work right, because we need to put in her colors. On this page, luckily for us, we aren't at a point where Chang's hair is not colored in. I colored it in. Obviously, that was an error earlier, but it's still there. In this instance, we still have the color pieces on the back here because this is a long enough time ago. This wasn't the newer uniform, which doesn't have the collar pieces. So that's all right. We'll just color them the same color as the main uniform, and we should be okay. Being bleedy. This one and up there. Duplicate the layer. Over here. I'm like, this will be an easy one. Then it fills everything. I'm like, really? So it's not easy. We'll just come through here. Alrighty. Also looking on here and noticing that she's got a name tag in these first couple of pages. Kind of things that I feel like we should fix. This uniform doesn't actually have name tags. Not now, anyway. One of those things like, how am I going to do this? I guess I'm going to make a new layer. All right. There we go. Okay, that took a lot of stupid time. Let's get ourselves a good backdrop for this. Kind of like these cross-hatched circles. These are fun, right? Because they just are junk in the background. It's like, I hate that. Which totally is exactly what I feel like Chang is doing right now. She's like, oh, I hate this crap. I hate everybody. I hate people. Like that. And we'll put it behind here and hope that I didn't do myself any stupid stuff. But no problems, right? Again, I'm letting the background here tell a little bit of the story, right? In this case, we've kind of got what looks like bubbles. I mean, I don't know, bubbles, something going on here, all right? So, I mean, like, she's having a hard time just existing, right? So, here's her drinking, a little bubbles are kind of like giving a little bit of a background of feeling what's going on. But this next scene here, over here, she's saying something, but her whole thing is, her whole thing is, right? She's like all staticked up. So let's put in a backdrop that looks staticky like that. It feels chattery, like, stop talking to me. I hate you. Like maybe lightning is too much. I've got two types of lightning here, but definitely something lightning, right? Because she's just, don't do it. Don't, stop talking to me. I hate you, sort of thing. So we're going to try to find something that's a little bit more aggressive and unpleasant feeling. But these pin patterns end up being very, like, they look like a cloud of gnats. And that's sort of the way I feel like she's doing this scene. She feels like, I hate you, all you people. You're so annoying. You're always trying to, you demand things of me and you want me to do stuff. And I hate this and I hate everything. Sort of this cloud of gnats behind her. So I'm going to aggressive up my background. Let's see how it looks like static. Her cup bleedeth through. Eh. Let's go through here real quick. Oh, that was the white line in here. That'll make it easy. I'll just go like this. Like so. Thing just tap in there like that. Tap in there like that. Right, so now we're just gonna go through and make sure she's got steam from her coffee is not actually getting chattered up. So we want that. Right. Right. Up is Run a Thunder. Or Run a Thunder. Oh, I kind of like that. What happened to your cup? It ran a thunder. It's even funnier. There we go. Okay. Whew, that took a lot of effort. That page looks good. I also feel like looking at this panel, what are we going to talk about this panel? She's doing the, you can't do that. You know that you can't do that. Right, so what, it's like a Rorschach test. What? Which one of these looks like you can't do that? Actually may take and go up one and just take some of this watercolor, right? Because the watercolor has it's not like the background doesn't exist, but it's still a background, right? So if I were to go in here and do this, I could say paste. Right. Then we can take this guy, tonal correction, hue sat. If we desaturate, we'll pull all the saturation out of it. We're just giving it some cloud. You know, you can't ask that, Chang. You just asked the wrong question. You really can't do that. Right? So, there you go. If I were to tap that in, it gives us just a good pattern. You know what I mean? Like, looks solid. There we go. I like that. I like that a lot. There. All right. And that's this page. And that rolls that page out. Now all of that's complete. This is the next one. And actually we will be doing pretty decent with this one being done, and then that should complete all of these pages to some degree. All right. First things first. The belt doth not runneth over. Okay, in here we can do kind of like that cross hatching, but we're not gonna. I take this water pattern. If I were to be smart about it, copy it and paste it in. Rotate it 90 degrees. I don't need to rotate it. I can just leave it like it is. Okay. We make this multiply. And then on top of this, we do a gradient going this way. It's not a gradient, people. Gradient going this way. Tell that one to multiply. Actually, we should do this the other way. Screw. And then we take these guys, maybe, and put them under this layer. And maybe even under this layer. Oh, what? That totally works. There we go. I'm going to do something real quick. I'm going to make this normal. And make it darker. Like so. Now when I do this, it should do multiply, and that should be a lot darker, right? All right. The other thing is, I'm worried that the text is the wrong size. It's not. The text is the right size. So this pattern makes this look more calm, like water. I mean, it's the water pattern, right? So it's just supposed to be like cool or whatever. So I'm using that to kind of just show that in this instance, Jen is changing the subject to try to make kind of calm the waters, so to speak. So I'm literally using that as well as figuratively. Background operating there. Now, she doesn't know that she's in trouble yet, but she's in trouble. If I take this halftone pattern here, it's orderly, right? So when kind of talking about like the way that I want these two characters to interact, if I use the orderly pattern with Chang, then that kind of implies that she's accepting the order that's coming in from Jen, right? So Jen is being orderly. I love using backgrounds as symbolism to try to kind of give a feel, especially when I've got 2/2, which is what we've got here, where person A, then person B, then person A, then person B, then person A, then person B. And all you're doing is just going back and forth and back and forth. Really put in a lot of work into the symbolism of this. How does this work? How does this fit? How does it feel? But I still don't feel like, no matter what, I still feel like Chang hasn't started to order in yet, and like she hasn't kind of settled down quite a bit yet. So I'm not sure I want to use this. So I like this alligator skin because this kind of has a little bit of order to it, but not quite the order. She's not quite settling in with where she needs to be with this. It's a little bit, but it's not quite. So we're going to put that in here. And put this right, actually way down at the bottom. So whenever I do this, we're going to have to go through and clean up like that. But it still gives, it's like partially in order, but you know what I mean? Also don't like her hair in this instance. So we're going to do some cleanup work on this in multiple layers. First cleanup work is we're going to do this part here. just to make sure. And second cleanup is to go in here. I'm just going to take some of this black, and I don't care. But her hair needs to be like this. There you go. It's a little thing, but I really don't like the feel of it when it's not forward on her head more. Right, and she should still have stray hairs kind of wandering around while we're at it. And she's still in her morning I hate the world. Yep, right, exactly. It's just enough to look less chaotic because I'm squeezing her down. I really like using chaos to indicate freneticness, and then use non-chaos to indicate order and alignment. And so between these two, we've got still chaos going on with Chang. She's never going to settle into perfect order. But Jen's really orderly. As a character, Jen is a very orderly character. So every time we try to get straight out of Jen's mouth over here, we're Yep. We bumped the layers there. And then we get much more orderly out of her, so we don't need to worry about this guy. And it's the same thing. If, for some reason, she were to unsettle Jen, I would do the same thing. I would chat her up over here on Jen's side. But Jen is in here with a very specific purpose. She's in here to talk to her buddy and her old friend who she thinks she's drinking a little too much. She's doing a little too much. So the most chaos is going to be out of Chang. Right? So Chang's the one that's the most chaotic over here. So we're going to go on ahead and find some nice orderly halftone for this. Some nice order. Look at how nice and orderly this halftone is. I'm going to do this specifically because I'm going to like using the halftone specifically. So we're going to do this and then paste. And it makes it a big dot set because the dot pitch is very large and almost comedically so. And I'm going to just take this and make it 50%, right? Put it right here at 50%. And maybe even 25. There we go. And that just gives a pattern. And it's a nice, clean pattern. I have to go through here and select a round here, but that's all right, not a problem. Right? Control Shift I. Inverted our pattern. Go here because the one thing that's actually, what we don't have. We'll just do this. Convert that to 100%. And Viola. Okay. Let's go ahead and real quickly fix the control points on this because it is a little tight. And I also, like I said, I like to bring these in and blow them a little because that makes it feel a little bit more like it's sometimes I'll use Need to bring the text tool in. The text tool will let me move. There. All right. And now we're back to chaos, right? She'd settled in. Jen had calmed her down, gotten her kind of placated. She's got coffee going now. So she's doing better. And then Jen brings over this and drops a bomb on her. Which, like I said, feel kind of like looking at the smile on Jen's face down here. She's probably enjoying this a little bit more than she probably ought to. And that's okay. Taunting friends is a thing, right? We all do it. I'm going to take this layer. I'm going to put in white because we need to. The wrong layer. What layer is this layer on? Or is this just this? Let's just kill this. Because we don't know what the heck we're doing half the time with this. We really don't. Legitimately. We'll go up on here, and I'll just put it there. There we go. Last chaos. Doodly. Okay. That's going to happen for a while. One of our buddies just said, "Hey, I got a 98 on my test." So everybody is now obligated to say thank you or good job, which is fine. I mean, I'm not actually complaining, just observing that there will be a lot of, "Hey, congratulations." I imagine. Here and probably manually. I don't know. I think I manually fix this guy. Congrats, 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 congrats. Yeah, that goes. You gotta do that. It's required. All right. Still cutting into. How does it get in? My group is noisy. No, no, it's fine. All right. Well, what I want kind of for this guy is we're gonna probably put in one of these awareness bursts where she bam, oh, I get it, you know, um, expression lines, right? These guys are great for this. This is where you use this to great advantage. First of all, it's a small frame. Small frames are very useful in this instance because I can just take this guy right here and bring him over. That makes it easy. With a small frame here, I gotta make sure we turn off, move the object, so I can do just the object here. Put him on top there, just so I can see where the heck I put him. Where did I put him? There he is. Okay. So if I put him under all of these things and under this, what we end up with is sort of an explosion, like her head has exploded slightly. We have blown her mind. But we want to make sure that we can still read under there. So look at this then now without that, and maybe discuss this. You can read it still. It's hard because this is going to be a tough panel to see through, but we don't need much. We just need enough that people read it and understand the first on that. Okay, so back to another gradient between these two. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Gosh, I hope I make it. Just saying. Color. So we already have the background. We're already set and rigged properly because this was done, I think, before, done after. This is a newer page. Not as weird as usual. Now, if I take this fabric weave, I can take this and we've still got some chaos said with a French accent, a bad French accent. Oh, it's important. Take some of this chaos and bring it down onto this panel like so, and do what we did before. The thing I love about the idea of of doing these gradients here is I can take and put sort of a certain amount of overlay to it like this. Just go like that. And then this guy here can be multiply like so. We still get the same effect, but we get the chaotic effect that comes in with this as well. There we go. And that makes that look really nice and clean and gives me still a chaotic gradient, but the gradient is still there. Still looks good, looks solid. And I don't know if I want to use the weave. I try not to use the same pattern twice, but in this instance, it may still work because I want to get consistency. So I might actually continue with this weave down here in this panel and just say paste and paste in the weave and do it again. But this time maybe I'll blow it up just a bit. So it gives it slightly a different pattern than it did before. Kind of like it's, no. Okay. No, we didn't manage to pull off this one yet. No, that's not what I wanted. Must have thought that was a cool idea. Still, congratulations. There we go. And just about on time. Look at us. Look at us being good. All right. I'll save this guy and roll him into that side over there. And now I'm looking at these first few pages up here. Looks like we are solid through all of these pages. 1, 2, 3. 11 pages. The first 11 pages are absolutely complete and locked in. Second side here. 1, 2, 3, and 4 of this. So 16 pages are done. Leaves 10 pages still remaining. It's not so bad. That's really not bad at all. And this is a good stopping point. I feel like we are done patching up that first half so that it doesn't need to be patched up anymore. So that's good. That's a good thing. And now that we've done that, I can move on to Airship 27, which is what we will do today. So there we go. So I am off to eat lunch, and you all are as well. I hope you have a wonderful lunch. and I will talk to everybody later. And remember to keep your eyes on the stars.